People in their 40s, what's something people in their 20s don't realize is going to affect them when they age? The benefits of working out. My father started regularly working out in his 40s. Nothing extreme, just consistent. He is now 87 and is still in great health. All of his doctors have credited the fact that he started regularly taking care of himself as the reason why he is doing so well. Now, the flip side of that, he has had to deal with a lot of loss, including my mother. That's a painful fact of life. As you get older, you are just going to lose people. And not just your older relatives either. I've already lost a few friends who died way too young. And if all goes well, based on family history, I'm in good shape to live quite a long time. So I'm going to keep losing people I care about. Yeah, my grandma died in her later 90s, and she was so ready to go when the time came. She outlived and grieved her husband of 70 years, all of her siblings, all of her friends, several of her children. She had 14 of them, and even a few grandchildren. My mom is one of those 14 children she had. I'm already preemptively sad for the last one standing, who will have buried 13 of their siblings. Finding hobbies and other interests is more important than you think. I can't wait to be retired so I can play Sims all day every day until I die. When I was a teenager, didn't have money. Now I have a rig but haven't got time. Hope to want do it when retired. If you haven't figured out a balanced diet and exercise routine by the time you are 40, you're going to start seeing negative quality of life impacts. I definitely had to make some changes when my cholesterol numbers were going in the wrong direction. Diet and exercise is important as we get older, and I want to make sure that I'm one of those still active old people. I'm now at the point where the choices I make will shape the rest of my life, and I have to remind myself I'm in my late 40s and not my late 20s. The good news is that I'm now course correcting, and I'm already out of a lot of the risk zones. But it's hard work to remain that disciplined. Not wearing ear protection at concerts. Having tinnitus sucks. For anybody unaware like I was until my late 20s, they make earplugs that are designed to lower the volume without muffling the sound like the foam earplugs do. Do a search for musicians' earplugs. There are lots of options and range anywhere from $20 to $60 for generic plugs, Etymotic, Eargasm, Loop, Heroes, etc., all the way up to $200 for custom molded plugs. Neglecting your dental health. Deciding to stop going to the dentist because you are no longer forced to by your family won't end well, trust me. That was not a smart choice I made way back when, and it affected me for years after. Honestly, it could have been much worse for me. 100% agreed, but for many people, regular dentist visits aren't an option. If you think our health insurance system is bad, check out our ridiculous dental plans. Many dental plans are basically a coupon for only the most basic services. Some people are made of titanium, some people aren't. There's no way to know which is which. My friend's dad was a coke addict that's very healthy at 74. Had a healthy runner friend have a heart attack at 35? Just because one person can binge drink and be healthy at 80 doesn't mean that you can. You won't know until it's too late. Bad habits become harder to recover from and can lead to health problems the rest of your life. Not just in catastrophic ways, but in little ways like bad joints or aches and pains. Stay mobile, stay healthy. It's been proven that if you keep exercising, you lose much less muscle mass as you age. In your 40s, it's not so bad, but 60s, 70s, 80s, people start looking like skeletons. Also, don't listen to loud music. Wear earphones at concerts. Wear proper ear protection if you're shooting guns. Tinnitus is a nightmare. I haven't heard silence in so long. It can happen earlier, but it can get worse as you age. Can confirm the hearing protection point. Used to shoot sporting clays with my dad, and he frequently forgot hearing protection. We used napkins instead. The ringing is endless, and sometimes it becomes overwhelming. Age 35. Not putting in the work to maintain relationships. Having friends in your 20s is accidental. Having friends in your 40s on is a part-time job. Can confirm. I'm 34 and have 0 friends now despite having an extremely active social life in my 20s. Spot on? I'm in my mid-30s and put a lot of effort in maintaining my friendships. I see those that took them for granted complaining about having no friends. Saving for a retirement. Wish I started sooner. Reminds me of this quote every time. The best time to start saving for retirement was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. For years, I was telling myself that I couldn't afford to save for retirement. The truth was I absolutely was able to, but instead I spent that money on cheap food and nights out at the bar with friends. With that being said, I don't regret making those choices when I was younger, but the point is, there was always a little money here or there I could have been saving. And had I put that money into a retirement or brokerage account, I'd be in really good shape right now. You stop caring so much because you've just had enough. It's very relaxing. If you mean you stop caring what others think about you, I definitely agree it's a very freeing feeling that if you had perfect eyesight up until your 40s, then be prepared for the possibility that you will have to begin wearing glasses. 80% of people suffer from presbyopia, trouble focusing nearby items, by their mid-40s. It's a very common part of aging and the reason why most older folks need readers. For example, reading glasses. It's just something you don't think about until it happens to you. I'm an eye doc. It's 99.5% of people, to varying degrees of severity. If I get you to perfect refraction at distance, you'll need help up close. But I see fine up close without my glasses. Good for you. You're a bit myopic and can do that. Only case I've seen that didn't require reading glasses into their 50s had form frusty keratoconus and basically had a nice built-in aspheric optics that gave them a bump of plus to assist with their near vision. I'd say that they were a product of good luck. Some people have tiny pupils and have increased depth of field, but to get there, they need good lighting. Anyway, light is your friend, the families of their SO. Even if your SO is amazing, if their family culture is toxic, it is going to have a massive negative effect on your life. I know it sounds harsh, sad, but it should be a big portion of the decision to commit to someone. This 100% depends on the relationship your partner has with their family. If your partner recognizes that their family is toxic, has taken steps to distance themselves from the toxicity, and will defend you against their family, then you probably won't have issues. If your partner is still enmeshed with the toxic family culture, then it's not going to be a good time. Let me grab my reading glasses before I answer this question. So anyway, your vision goes to crap. Childhood emotional damage comes back with a vengeance. Well, shit. I'm 28 and was really hoping it'd go away eventually. Yep, I always thought I got away with it, but boom 30 and paying $1,000s of dollars for therapy. Womp womp. First, starting to live healthy in your 20s will make a huge difference in your 40s. Second, start using sun protection in your 20s, or your skin may noticeably be affected in your 40s. Third, try to better yourself every day in your 20s to be proud of what you have become in your 40s. Start using sun protection in your 20s. Best time to start is at 1. I think pediatricians recommend not before then, but apparel umbrellas do the trick for infants. The kids get lathered anytime we plan to be outside. I remember peeling layers of my ears off from burns as a kid. People come and go. The longer you're around, the more come and the more go. Develop some kind of thick skin or you're in for a rough ride. Thank you, I needed to hear this. I was thinking recently of how many good friends I've lost touch with, and feeling down about it. The physical consequences of sitting down for 8 hours per day. I can barely tie my shoes. Weirdly, this is where my ADHD helps. I simply cannot sit for anywhere near that length of time nonstop. I'll get up, walk around the room for a bit, stretch, walk to the break room if I'm in the office, bathroom, whatever. Just do something. It works. If you're a woman, probably perimenopause. We collectively think of menopause as being the big deal, not realizing it's a process and not realizing it's an issue that often starts in our 40s. Was coming here to say menopause. And I feel like no one ever warned me, so I was blindsided. Hope you are secure in your career, relationships, life, and so on, because peri and meno can fuck you up. The brain fog is horrific. You wake up at night looking like you were just in the ocean. Currently, I look like I'm 8 months pregnant BC. I ate a single garlic knot 2 days ago. Got some cool Raynaud's too, loving the corpse finger look when the AC is on too high. The kicker is that it's a different experience depending on the woman. My hot flashes are just my ears feeling warm for about 15 minutes. Drinking. Even drinking moderately. 14 drinks per week or 1 out, 2 per night. Literally degenerates your brain, thins your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making, communicating, regulating emotion, and other executive functions. Edit. To everyone telling me 14 drinks a week could not possibly be moderate. It is the medical standard in the US. My entire point was that even drinking amounts deemed moderate by medical professionals can still seriously damage your brain and body. Moderate doesn't mean a little, it means moderate. It straight up changes who you are. Just had to physically restrain my little brother this weekend. He actually has 4 inches and 120 pounds on me, while his girlfriend packed up her stuff in an attempt to leave his ass. He's my brother, but not when he is drunk, which is constantly. He has never taken any responsibility for anything, not his DUI or the 5 jobs he has lost this year alone. I don't plan to talk to him again until he is in recovery. We live together, so that's going to be pretty uncomfortable, but I don't care anymore. He's only 25. So many young adults I know vape, I think they are going to regret it in their 40s, if not sooner. I found it funny that cigarettes were found to be extremely unhealthy and everyone assumed they were fine until people started doing long-term studies on them. And then people started replacing cigarettes with vapes, and everyone's saying they're fine to use even though no long-term studies really been done on them. Big difference between vaping and smoking is that there's a limit to how much you can smoke in, say, one day before you become physically ill. Vaping, from my experience, has almost no limits. That is not a good thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you're over 40, what advice do you have for 20-year-olds to make life easier in their old age? Share it in the comments.